Yo, what's popping? Welcome back to another episode of Taylor Talks Celtics. With me, your boy Adam Taylor. I'm joined by my homie, compadre, co-host in crime, Mr. Cody Shalafu. I've just noticed there's a giant, is it crocodile dinosaur? What we got back? Yeah.
That is Henry the birthday dinosaur.
Bring him closer, pull him on screen.
There you go. How old is Bob Cousy? I know that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, shit. Dude, this went off the rails the minute we started. How I didn't spot. Did you put that there while the intro was playing?
That's been there the entire time.
Man, that tells you exactly where my head's been at. We were talking off air before we came on air, and I did not notice that one for one. That was brilliant time. It's such comedy. You're not going to repeat that. Right. So anyway, sorry to go off the rails within the first 50 seconds. Cody and I are here to talk about Bob Cousy and what Bob Cousy had to say about Jaylen Brown. We're then going to talk about what we think about what Bob Cousy said about Jaylen Brown. And then we're going to end with if we believe what Bob Cousy said about Jaylen Brown. So as you can tell, kind of going in the Wayback Machine because there's going to be a lot of Bob Cousy in this, but it's just we're not talking about Bob Cousy as if Bob Cousy was on the floor. If you're following with me, you've probably got ADD like I do. Anyway, Cody, my man, before we look at this quote that came out there, I know that you live a life filled with pickle festivals. You live a life filled with blow up dinosaurs living in the background. Have you done anything bizarre over the last few days?
Bizarre over the last few days? No, I think the Pickle Festival over the last couple of weeks is the most bizarre we've gotten. I did walk through Salem, Massachusetts today.
That's dope.
So there's a lot of bizarrities happening there. Shout out my folks in Salem, Massachusetts. Went to school out around that area. My friends live out there. So if you want to see some bizarre, head over to
high on my bucket list, bro.
Yeah.
I'm very high on my bucket list.
Good spot. So I personally haven't engaged in bizarrities. I don't even know if that's a word, but I've definitely seen
bizarrities. That's a new word.
I'm sure if it's not a word, then we're gonna throw it in there. That's
it should be, yeah, dude.
It should be. I think it works.
It's in my vocabulary from now moving forward. Bizarrities. Okay, so for anyone that hasn't seen what we're about to talk about, it was a quote from Bob Cousy during an August 8th, article from Dan Shaughnessy over at the Boston Globe. Obviously, the conversation probably didn't happen on August 8th, but that's when the article was published. There was a bunch of stuff in there. Cousy was talking about his disagreement with the way the Celtics really pushed that 3-point shot. He believes they should be driving to the rim more. Says he doesn't agree with Danny Ainge and Brad, but obviously analytics and blah, blah, blah. But the key quote, I should say, like the key point that stuck out to me from, and it's been all over social media as well, that stuck out from Cousy's conversation with Shaughnessy was his take on Jaylen Brown and whether or not Jaylen Brown is the guy that can lead the Celtics for the next season. So I'm just going to put that up on screen here. I'll read it at the same time. In my judgment, Jaylen is not quite at the superstar level that Tatum is at. Can he carry the load by himself? I see a major rebuilding effort here. Jaylen certainly won't bring them to the promised land. Derrick White's a good player and he'll produce and he'll be consistent, but his game doesn't lend itself to carrying a team. Okay, that's loaded. Not only do you not have faith that JB is going to be able to lead this team, you're not really all in on Derrick White either. Now, if it was anyone else and they said they weren't in on Derrick White, I'd actually be pointing at them and asking them to take an IQ test. But this is Bob Cousy we're talking about. Dude's 97. Dude's achieved more in basketball than, 80, 90% of people that have ever walked through the NBA? Like
50% probably.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So his opinion carries weight. His opinion is more than worthy of us having a discussion about. I don't care whether he played in the 50s, the 60s, or whether he played last week. It doesn't make a difference to me. If you're Cousy and you're talking about who can lead the Celtics, we're going to listen. We don't have to agree with you, but we're going to listen. So my wedding ring just slammed off my desk. I apologize if you heard that pop. It didn't hurt, just in case anyone was wondering. Cody, where you at with it then? So we'll start with the Jaylen Brown stuff, right? Because that's going to be the biggest takeaway. JB has no choice but to lead this team next season. To me, there's going to have to be a complete, not an overhaul, but a change in the system that the Celtics run. You're not going to run that 3-point heavy offense when Jaylen Brown's your primary offensive guy. Are you with Cousy or are you against Cousy?
I'm more with Cousy than against Cousy. First off, we love Jaylen Brown. Let's start that right now. I think 95% of the fan base does love Jaylen Brown. There's the very vocal 5% that we've heard over the past few years. Well, let's also not get it twisted. I think Jaylen Brown's a top 25 to 20 player in the league, probably. I agree. He's not in the same superstar tier that Tatum is. A lot of the reason why this team is constructed the way it is, it's to be around Jayson Tatum. It was supposed to be that way this upcoming year and the years beyond that. Obviously, when you get him this year, we shouldn't get them this year, even if he is ready. I say just scratch 2025, 26 out of the window and try again next year. Even if he is ready to go in April or March, I don't care.
Sit that man.
Sit him. And you're going to have to like literally put him in a cage. Like, like the grandma in the cage meme, like that's going to be Jayson Tatum trying to get on the floor in the middle of March, and we're not going to let him. However, again, I love Jaylen Brown. I don't think he is a 1A type player. Like, is he your best player on a championship team? Now, I know he won Finals MVP for us 2 years ago and Conference Finals MVP, but I don't think anyone was like, oh, he's better player than Jayson Tatum. I think we can all agree Jayson Tatum is the better player. I probably think that Jayson Tatum should have got Finals MVP, even though it was kind of splitting hairs. And Jaylen Brown played phenomenal in that playoffs for more often than he didn't. But over a course of 82 games or 70 games, depending on, if they rest him here or there or whatever, is he going to take this roster, which we broke down a week or two ago, how not great it's looking, especially in some areas? Is he going to be enough to mask those deficiencies? I don't think he will. If Jayson Tatum is on this team and you have the same exact roster, I think we're both feeling a lot better about our chances, because that's the kind of player that Jayson Tatum is. Jaylen Brown's going to try like hell. I mean, he's going to, as everyone loves to play, he's going to go to war for this city, as he should. He's going to put in full effort to be that guy. I just don't think he is that guy. And that's where I side with Cousy here. I don't think having Jaylen Brown on this, if a lot of the big question is, if you have this roster, and this roster as it is stands today as of his 10th, is it a playoff roster? Maybe. I mean, the East is weak, but if it is, it's a low-end playoff roster. You take Jayson Tatum and say Jaylen Brown's the one that got hurt. We're looking at this year a lot different. I think we can both agree on that. I think a lot of people at home can agree on that. And that's just because the caliber of player you're talking about. Fantastic guy, all-star, all-NBA type player. He's not your franchise cornerstone. He's your franchise cornerstone in the fact that, like, with Tatum, that's awesome. But without Tatum, he's still great. Love Jaylen Brown. Hope he's here for the rest of his life. He's not that guy.
So I'm coming into this with like 3 question marks, right? And all of these question marks kind of feed into each other. So the first one I've got is, over the last 2 years, Jaylen's taken significant steps in playmaking. He's gone from being a guy that can make a pass that's one pass away, one player away, to being able to make reads that are 2 players away, to then being able to make reads that are skip passes. You can skip 1 or 2 guys and swing the ball when you need to get it. You can make those reads, and he can make them on the fly now. He doesn't really have to like pick up the ball and scan the floor. He can see them and make that read and pick that pass out and actually get the pass there, time it well, understand where the defense is, understand where hands are going to come from as the ball's sailing. He's actually developed quite well there. I still don't think he's got the processing speed that Tatum does. He doesn't pick passes just as quickly. He doesn't have the passing range, doesn't have the ability to get the ball out with like a one-handed shovel pass or a roundabout pass. It's very much basics, but we're building on it. That's great, and those developments are great, but he's had to do that when he's already got Tatum, or he's got Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday, or one of insert star guy here stretching the floor for him and drawing some of that. And, if he's on the floor with Tatum, Tatum's got 2 on him. Now Brown's only got 1, and the guy he's probably passing to is having a defender scramble back. So Brown's going to have to now deal with a huge amount of attention off the offense, where they're going to be double teaming him, sending 2, sending 3, trapping early, hedging on pick and roll. And that's going to really dictate how much we see of him as a playmaker, because I think that he's going to get sped up. I think that we've seen the struggles he has when trying to dribble in traffic or when trying to dribble under pressure. And saying that because he's had good playmaking years for the last 2 years, it's going to translate now, that's not guaranteed, because he's going to see a whole new level of resistance that he's rarely seen while Tatum's been healthy. So that's question 1. Question 2 is everybody's relying on him to be this elite on-ball defender that we saw during the 2022 season, where was it 2022? Yeah, 2022, 2023, even in 2024 as well, to be fair. But like the last couple of years, it's kind of gradually waned off. But this elite on-ball version of JB, where he's going to lock you down. Yeah, 2024 was actually probably the best version of this, where he's going to lock you down, go up against the best player on the opposite team and just shut him down and just eat his energy there. Is he still going to try and be that guy? Because you need him to be, because Drew Holiday's gone. And now Brown's your best perimeter defender in terms of just being able to lock dudes down. You need his size, but then you also need him to carry such a heavy load offensively. How is he going to be able to sustain being such a high usage rate on both sides of the floor? So that's question 2. And then question 3, as I alluded to earlier, is this is a 3-point heavy offense, and you don't have the same amount of floor spacing now. Brown is at his best when he's driving to the rim or he's working out of the mid-range. His most of his playmaking is going to come off dribble, drive, penetration, and kick, which is called a spray action. Just to drive and kick his spray. So he's going to be looking for spray action shots. When you put all those 3 things together and then you say to yourself, can this dude sustain that for 60, 70, 82 games, and then whatever a postseason run is or a playing tournament run is? That's a lot of mileage to put on his clock and a lot of questions to tell him he needs to answer for everybody for 1 year before sliding back to a second option. It's going to be really tough.
I think in like a leadership role, like he's the guy the media goes to.
Yeah.
1,000%. He's great. But, and like we're saying, like he's made these strides in the playmaking and stuff, but he still has ways to go. I mean, the dribbling has still been a concern, and we've seen that in the playoffs. And again, for those, everyone likes to say he won Finals MVP. If you watch that Finals back, and Adam, I know you did a lot of watch that series 8 times, it seemed. Every time Tatum had the ball and went to the paint, what happened? 4 Mavericks, 5 Mavericks, all on him. And that worked because he was able to spray it around, had a really good assist numbers, had flirted with triple doubles a lot in that series. Cool. Jaylen Brown gets that, and like he's going to get the attention. He's the guy who's going to, and now also Derrick White's going to have to be put in this position, and maybe he's playing outside of his comfort zone, outside of his strengths, where he's a cool play initiator and then relocator, and being able to off that spacing and off that be able to do there. When he's the guy having to do all that, sure, I'm sure he's had moments where it's worked, but doing that sustainably over a course of 82. You wane, and you look at this roster, and I think this year will really put into perspective the value of Jayson Tatum. I feel like a lot of us understand that he is the best player on this team and the top 5 player in the league. But those who still have the doubts, which there are those who are out there, you're going to see this team struggle to really just get stuff going. I think we're going to have games where it's really like putting your head through a chainsaw and being like, that would be better than watching this. We're going to have some of those games this year.
Brown's got a little bit of Kyrie Irving in him, in the sense that when things don't instantly become available, so when you're in the half court now and Brown's got the ball and he doesn't see there's a pass instantly available, he's going to call his own number. Yeah. He's going to go more ISO. We've seen that. There's been times, even last season, where you go on social media during the game, or like I'd wake up and then see the feed afterwards, and people would like, yo, is Brown going to pass the fucking ball? Because he can get like that sometimes. And I'm sorry to cut into you, but it was just building on what you said there, is you do have that concern, like, hey, Tatum keeps the ball moving. One of the reasons, in my opinion, that Brown was put in a position to be able to win Finals MVP, on top of it, obviously he played excellently himself, and conference MVP can go in there too. But it was because of Tatum's ability to quarterback the offense. It was the ball touched his hands, it got out of his hands, it rarely stuck. And when it did stick, it's because they'd created a favorable mismatch for him to attack. Whereas Brown, I feel like sometimes it's going to be, oh, there's not a pass available. Let me try and create something, but I don't have the same level of I think he's got a good handle, to be quite fair, but I don't think he's got the same level of self-creation as what Tatum does. He can handle the rock, but I don't think he manipulates the defense that well while going into his bag. Whereas Tatum will go into his bag, but his eyes will move, his chest moves. Like when I was learning how to defend when I was younger, I was always taught one thing: never watch the eyes, never watch the feet, always watch the chest. The chest doesn't lie, right? I feel like Tatum's one of these only dudes with like, and all these top 5, top 6, top 7, their shoulder feints are so good that it makes you buy them even if you're watching chest. And that's how you can start to manipulate a defense when 2 or 3 dudes are locked in on you. Brown doesn't strike me as a guy that has that. And that's not going to be something he can learn on the fly during the season. So I get it. I understand where Cousy's coming from.
I mean, again, we love Jaylen Brown, nothing against him as the player, the person, but it just simple fact he's just not there. And now you're going to be relying on him and Derrick White, who are 2 like, you know, really good caliber NBA top 50 guys. In Derrick White's case, even top 40 or even better than that. But is Derrick White top 40 in a vacuum? Defensively, he brings a lot of things, but on the actual court, a lot of his value is because of how good his team is. And yeah, again, maybe I'm picking on Derrick White and Jaylen Brown a little bit, but I think we're going to have some revisionist history about these past Celtics teams and how good the teams are and how good Tatum is. A lot of people Tatum was thrown right into this, hey, he had it all. He had these players. But you look back at those, 2017, 18, 19, 20 years, some of those rosters aren't really that great. You have some of the top heavy guys. You had Al Horford playing the way he was. You had Kyrie Irving for a year, the Gordon Hayward situation. But you're having like Brad Wanamaker play a lot of minutes. And like Enes Kanter played minutes for my basketball team. I really want to forget that. And that's a team that went to a conference finals.
There was a time when it was before Tatum, but Chris Humphrey played for this team as well.
I think they're propped up because the Celtics have been winning. And over the last decade plus, we've had one bad year, which was directly after Rondo, right before Smart. But it's been great. And I think we're going to I think the point of this is we're really going to see how much Tatum's value is when he's here all year.
It's going to be tough. And I think that the one good thing is when he's back, I feel like we're going to appreciate it. And getting back to not playing him this year, I feel like if you're a wrestling fan, you'll understand this more than if you're not. But it's going to be a hot tag kind of feeling here. Tatum's going to be like on the turnbuckle, like leaning over, banging his feet, clapping his hands, trying to get his man off the canvas to jump over and get that tag. So, when they're coming in that full of momentum, then hit the one guy, run over, knock the other guy off the ring, crowd's going wild. I don't want that. That sounds like hella fun. I'm not going to lie. I don't want it. Let Tatum rest until 2026, 2027. That season, the Pacers had the right idea by just rolling Halliburton out instantly. You know what I mean? I'm going to give a shout out to our channel. If you're watching this today, or whenever you're watching it, head over to Selfmade on YouTube. It's run by Ibu of Wrestle Purist. They're gonna have Tyrese Halliburton on there talking wrestling today. So as Sunday, so it'll be available. Definitely go and check that out. I'm just giving them a shout out because one, I think Ibu does great work, but two, go and listen to Halliburton talk some wrestling. It's the off season, man. Like, and then when can we get Tatum doing the same shit? But yeah, I mean, look, I'm on board with Cousy here. I don't think that Brown's going to be leading this team to an NBA Finals. I don't even think he'll lead them to a top 5 playoff spot. And that's bold because the East is weak. If he does great, I'd like to be proven wrong because that means we get to enjoy a good season of basketball. And I'm not knocking Brown. I think that, Brown genuinely believes how can I put this? Brown has put himself out there saying he's capable of leading the team. And I think that he's more than talented to lead a team, but I think that team needs to be built around him. And this team isn't built around him. This team isn't built around anybody right now. It's just a bunch of dudes fighting to prove that they belong in the NBA, hoping that 1 or 2 of them stick. To get the best version of Jaylen Brown as a leader on a team, you need a year, 2 years, 3 years, building around him. Pure shooters everywhere, letting him be the driving kick guy, ideally having somebody that can initiate for him and catch him on the cut. If you do that and you put him in that situation, yeah, he could lead a team. He could be the first option on a team and they'd probably be very successful. But this version of the Celtics and a version of the Celtics that are going to be have them keys handed back to Jayson Tatum next season, Jaylen Brown's going to struggle to lead that team. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the right take to have. And again, love Jaylen. And hope if I was just wrong. If Jaylen Brown is
done that many a time,
is the guy. Like if he's the guy that we're both saying that we don't think he is. That's big. That's huge. That's being able to, say you have two bona fide superstars. I think we have a superstar and a star. Big difference, I think, between the two. And, we're still going to watch. We're still going to be there. We're going to have some good games, and he's going to look great. He's going to have he's 40-point outbursts, which is great. And I think he's going to have these 15-point games where he's 8 for 31 and 8 turnovers. That's just going to kind of be what we see. And again, Bob Cousy, while the game of basketball he played has been very, very different than what we're playing now. Still an ambassador of the game. It's still, again, 99th percentile in career that anyone's ever had. And say what you want about, the style of basketball he played. He was a pioneer of the game that he played. And I have no doubt he's able to identify talent. Now, the comments about, hey, he doesn't like how the Celtics are run. This is maybe the most dominant stretch of basketball we've seen from a team in a while. A lot of the numbers get up as this is one of the best offensive teams ever the last 2 years. That the game's changed and maybe left him behind, but I have
I'm not gonna lie though, there are times where I'm like, yo, this is boring.
Yeah, I mean, boring and results are different.
And I
don't
think that
how much we think it's boring. If it's gonna work, it's gonna work.
Okay, so here's my argument back, right? And I'm just gonna put this out there because I've been saying this. First of all, actually, I'll save that to the end. Look, I like the way the Celtics play. I like that their actions lead to mismatches that lead to good threes. I like that they lead to good offensive opportunities. It's a very analytically optimized offensive approach. The downside to that is sometimes when 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 straight possessions all end in there's been barely a paint touch because you haven't needed it because the team's weak on the perimeter, and then it's just 15 straight perimeter shots. Yeah, that can get boring. And the problem you need to kind of think of this from a business standpoint is first and foremost, the NBA is an entertainment brand. It is there to entertain you. The ratings dictate the amount of money that can be spent on player contracts, on growth and everything. And when your top team, your championship team can go 15 to 20 possessions, and it's usually games against teams that are kind of mailing it in later in the season or they've got someone out. So it's just a little bit easy. But when it's not that entertaining, to me, that's an optics problem because it's like, yo, the best team is boring as shit. So I do understand why you want to mix in the additional rim pressure, the extra dunks, why you want to add in some more flair off the bounce. You don't want to just stick to isolation, my turn, your turn basketball, is because at the same time, as much as results matter, you need to entertain not just the people in the building, not just the people watching, but the people that are going to tune in tomorrow, the day after that. The highlights need to be there to draw the eyes. So the entertainment side of things, yeah, I get where Cousy's coming from there. I'll watch it all day long because I just love basketball. It's just 10 to 20 possessions of straight perimeter shots will start to piss me off.
Fair enough. It worked for the Celtics over the last 2 years and probably longer than that. Obviously Missoula signed. Shout out Johnson's very own. I will see if he changes things up or if he's, stuck in his ways or whatever. I love Joe. I know a lot of people are very mixed how they view him as a head coach. I love Missoula, not just because he grew up in the same town I lived in for 10 years. And I know that his dad was my high school coach and stuff like that. But I really do love basketball that's been being played. I love winning. And he does that better than anyone has in his short time.
A long time.
Yeah. So, we'll see what goes on. I'm excited to see what the play is. We're going to get some real fun Jaylen games. But again, I don't think he's the number one on a championship team, at least not this team. I don't think we should be going into the season with championship aspirations. I think, a lot of people just want to fully tank. I don't know how well Brown and White are going to curb that behavior, but who knows? I could see this season being very, very not. I can see it being all right.
Okay, I'm going to round us out with this, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
Okay.
But you're a music dude, so I'm going to feel very comfortable about it, okay? If you had to choose a song to basically encapsulate what Jaylen Brown's season is going to be like in the upcoming season, what song would it be?
That's a good one. That's an interesting one.
I have mine, by the way.
Oh, you say yours first. Might probably have to think about this one for a second. But I think
Okay, so mine's Lupe Fiasco Superstar.
That's if you are, say you are a superstar, then have no fear.
The camera's here and the microphone, and they want to know.
That's a very good. That's a really good one. That one encapsulates it pretty good. I mean, rip. I don't want to be boring, but that's a really, really, really good one. Off my head, I probably can't give you one. Maybe because I'm just stupid and I have 800,000 songs on my phone and I can't quite pick one. But again, it's a situation.
This is why I didn't want to say mine first, because then it's easy to be like, actually, that worked.
Now that works so well. Maybe you can give me a second, we can get to it. But shit, that's a really, really good question, and I wish I had an answer for you, but I'm gonna say I don't think I have one off.
Right. So if you've made it this far, or if you've tuned in and just come to this bit because you're like, man, that's different, jump in the comments. Let us know which one you've got. Is it the same as me? Are you going Lupe Fiasco Superstar? Do you have something we didn't even think of? Any genre, any era? You obviously understand what I'm trying to get at with the Lupe song. So just what encapsulates the challenge and the upcoming season that Jaylen Brown has. What have you got? I'm going to put this out on social media as well, so we can kind of get an idea what other people are thinking too. If you're still here, I appreciate you. Make sure you sign up to the Celtics Chronicle newsletter. Links in the description. There's stuff coming out every day during the season, Monday through Friday, 2 to 3 times a week during the off season. Make sure you subscribe into the YouTube channel, and most importantly, show some love to my boy Cody, man. Cody is criminally underfollowed on social media. Criminally. Cody, where can they find you, my boy?
Well, if you're on the Twitter app, I still call it Twitter. I don't care
The
when
tweet app.
Cody Shallow, as you see on your screen, just add 2 3s to the end of that. So Cody Shallow with 33. If you're on Instagram, I'm Cody C Broadcasting over there. So,
and with that, can we say goodbye to the dinosaur, please?
Henry, say goodbye to the folks. The birthday dinosaur.
Yeah, boy. All right, then we out. Everybody have a good one. Peace.